Hi again, it's me, Cinnamon. I'm a professional in my early 20s, and today I'm budgeting my first paycheck of November. I have $6,800 ready to assign, and that number is higher than it usually is because I actually have some additional sources of income that I'm also budgeting. I'm going to break down those additional sources in my reports. Note that all of these numbers for my income sources are gross, and I like to take out my taxes in my budget itself. So you can see I got my normal paycheck amount, and then I also got some interest, which I've already budgeted since I got that at the very beginning of the month. I was able to budget that in my November monthly budget video. And then I also got some reimbursements. Now, two of these reimbursements are typical, so a phone bill reimbursement for work and some transportation expenses also reimbursed by work. Now, this was a surprise to me. I got my security deposit back from my old apartment. This amount is actually lower than I was expecting to get back for my security deposit. So I'm going to double check with them why that amount is different. But I also expected to get this in December, and I'm glad to be getting this a month earlier. So having cleared up why I have some extra income, I'm going to go back into my budget. Like I mentioned, all of those numbers were gross, and I like to take out my taxes and everything on budget, and I just do that by going into this category for my paycheck deductions, clicking under funded, and then resetting available amounts. So you can see that I've covered what came out of my check for my medical insurance and also for my taxes and most interestingly for my HSA. I have to change the name for this. With this paycheck, I've actually started contributing to my HSA. I had originally planned to contribute to my HSA directly through the brokerage website, but I decided to instead go through payroll because then I get the tax benefits up front, and I thought that would be worth it. And since I'm doing it this way, I can actually take the savings I had originally planned to use to contribute to my HSA and reimburse myself. So I did, okay. So I contributed $677.91, and I can move that to ready to assign. Another way I could have done that was just not clicking underfunded for this category and covering the overspending directly from this category. So either way is fine. There's so many ways to make things work in ynab. Okay, now that that's done, this is how much I actually have to play around with, kind of. I also contribute to my 401k, and I have that set aside into a savings and investments category because I actually want to be able to track in my savings group how much I've been able to contribute to my 401k. And I'm really excited to say that with this paycheck, I was able to max out my 401k. So I can just click that button, and now this is fully funded. And I'm so excited about that because I had only started contributing to my 401k almost more than halfway through the year. So I was behind on that, and I felt initially that it was a little bit of a crunch having a lower paycheck because I was making these contributions. So I'm really glad that even with having a lot of expenses around the same time, I was able to reach this financial goal of mine. So that's really exciting. And I also have some exciting things I want to discuss about like 401ks at the end of the video after I'm finished with my budget, which should be pretty quick. So I'm going to do things in a little bit of a different order and start with my sinking funds because I already have my expenses for the month covered and I'm on track with everything. Even with food, I haven't overspent on food, which is rare for me. And I actually need to contribute to my sinking funds early because I do have some payments I expect to be making in these categories soon. So first, I had planned to put my security deposit reimbursement into a category that I would give back to my family. So that's my great daughter category. It's just like an extra contribution I'm making to my family, kind of a surprise, something they're not expecting. And so I got about $958 back for the reimbursement, and I'm just putting $960 into this category just to keep it round. So that's great. And I'm really excited to be able to use that towards my goals for my family. And you can see a little bit more about those goals in my sinking fund breakdown videos. Next, I have to go to my health category. So I do have a medical expense coming up. I am not sure of the price of it. I had originally thought it would be $760, but it could actually be double that I need for the down payment. So I'm gonna try to do double just to be super sure. And if I don't need all of it, I can move it out later in another video. Probably in my next video, I'll know. And then I can go into my getting ahead category and put the remainder into helping me get a month ahead. So now with my next paycheck, I should be able to get a month ahead still and stay a month ahead, but I may not be able to do as much with paying myself back for my stretch goals. So we'll have to see about that. Um, yeah, so that's really all there is. The most I'm like unsure about is really with this health category, if this thing is going to be half this price or the full 1500. Hopefully it's half the price, but we'll see how insurance pulls through for me. And like I said, I actually wanted to talk a little bit more about 401ks. So in 2023, we are seeing that contribution limits for various retirement vehicles will be increasing. I think for the retirement vehicles I mainly use, which is the 401k, the Roth IRA, and the HSA, their limits have all increased by almost 10%, and that's keeping up with inflation, so it's not that much of a surprise. So for 2023, the new 401k contribution limit is $22,500. The Roth IRA contribution limit is $6,500. And this is just the ordinary contribution limit. There are also additional catch-up contributions you can make if you're over a certain age. I'm not, I think the age is like 50 or 55. And for the HSA, the 2023 contribution limit is $3,850 for an individual and $7,750 for a family. And again, I think you can also make catch-up contributions if you're over a certain age. I am an individual, so the $3,850 contribution limit is what's going to apply to me. Anyway, I'm going to definitely have to spend some time to go into ynab and change some of my goals to match the new contribution limits. Even though contribution limits are changing, personally, they're not going to affect my savings goals too much because I kind of set a number I want to save, and all that changes is which bucket that money is divvied up into. So next year, more money will just be allocated into my retirement savings because those contribution limits have gone up, but I'm still planning to save the same amount. And that amount I'm figuring out, and I want to make an end of the year like 2023 plan and share that with you guys. And these contribution limits will definitely be a factor into that. So I did want to talk about that a little bit before I made my big 2023 video. I'm super excited about that. I think a lot of my plans are coming together. And other than not knowing the price of medical things, I think this has been a very successful budget. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.